To understand our future evolution, we need to look to our past. Will our descendants be cyborgs with high-tech machine implants, regrowable limbs, and cameras for eyes like something out of a science fiction novel? Might humans morph into a hybrid species of biological and artificial beings? Or could we become smaller or taller, thinner or fatter, or even with different facial features and skin color? Of course, we don't know, but to consider the question, let's scoot back a million years to see what humans looked like then. For a start, Homo sapiens didn't exist. A million years ago, there were probably a few different species of humans around, including Homo heidelbergensis, which shared similarities with both Homo erectus and modern humans, but more primitive anatomy than the later Neanderthal. Over more recent history, during the last 10,000 years, there have been significant changes for humans to adapt to. Agricultural living and plentiful food have led to health problems that we've used science to solve, such as treating diabetes with insulin. In terms of looks, humans have become fatter and, in some areas, taller. Perhaps, then, we could evolve to be smaller so our bodies would need less energy, suggests Thomas Mayland, senior lecturer in bioinformatics and big data at Anglia Ruskin University, London, which would be handy on a highly populated planet. Living alongside lots of people is a new condition humans have to adapt to. Back when we were hunter-gatherers, there would have been a handful of interactions on a daily basis. Mayland suggests we may evolve in ways that help us to deal with this. Remembering people's names, for example, could become a much more important skill. Here's where the technology comes in. An implant in the brain would allow us to remember people's names, says Thomas. We know what genes are involved in building a brain that's good at remembering people's names. We might just change that. It sounds more like science fiction. But we can do that right now. We can implant it, but we don't know how to wire it up to make it useful. We're getting there, but it's very experimental. We know what genes are involved in building a brain that's good at remembering people's names. We might just change that. It's not really a biological question anymore, it's technological, he said. Currently, people have implants to fix an element of the body that's broken, such as a pacemaker or a hip implant. Perhaps in the future, implants will be used simply to improve a person. As well as brain implants, we might have more visible parts of technology as an element of our appearance, such an artificial eye with a camera that can read different frequencies of color and visuals. We've all heard of designer babies. Scientists already have the technology to change the genes of an embryo, though it's controversial and no one's sure what happens next. But in the future, Mayland suggests, it may be seen as unethical not to change certain genes. With that may come choice about a baby's features, so perhaps humans will look like what their parents want them to look like. It's still going to be selection, it's just artificial selection now. What we do with breeds of dogs, we'll do with humans, said Milowan. This is all rather hypothetical, but can demographic trends give us any sense of what we may look like in the future? Predicting out a million years is pure speculation, but predicting into the more immediate future is certainly possible using bioinformatics. Dr. Jason A. Hodgson, lecturer in Grand Challenges in Ecosystems and the Environment. Predicting out a million years is pure speculation, but predicting into the more immediate future is certainly possible using bioinformatics by combining what is known about genetic variation now with models of demographic change going forward, says Dr. Jason A. Hodgson, lecturer, Grand Challenges in Ecosystems and the Environment. Now we have genetic samples of complete genomes from humans around the world. Geneticists are getting a better understanding of genetic variation and how it's structured in a human population. We can't exactly predict how genetic variation will change, but scientists in the field of bioinformatics are looking to demographic trends to give us some idea. Hodgson predicts urban and rural areas will become increasingly genetically diverse. All the migration comes from rural areas into cities, so you get an increase in genetic diversity in cities and a decrease in rural areas, he said. What you might see is differentiation along lines where people live.